Oh, hey there! Do you like to have fun?
I like to have fun.
Well, you're in luck because you FIFA are selling FIFA points and coins at ridiculously low prices. You can also use the code TVM at the checkout to get yourself a cheeky little discount. Link is in the description.
Kazooie!
What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Joe Allen versus Pirlo. A lot of people wanted to see this. It was a very popular comment on one of my versus videos last week, and as a joke, kind of, but also serious, hoping that Joe Allen would actually perform here, we're going to take a look at the stats compared between these two players. Now, obviously, Pirlo in real life, highly decorated Italian footballer that everyone around the world loves. Joe Allen, not so much, but he is a cult figure, especially amongst Liverpool fans and Welsh human individuals. Everybody loves Joe Allen if you are from Liverpool or you are Welsh. It's just one of those things. He is a cult hero. To be honest, I know a lot of people who enjoy Joe Allen, even if they aren't Welsh or from Liverpool. So it's one of those things, especially Swansea fans. But we are going to get into the stats, starting with Pirlo. His goals per game ratio is a 0.12, meaning he scored 366 goals in the 3,000 games that I had taken information from. Not the easiest thing to do, seeing as how he only costs 850 coins. There are a lot of Pirlos on the market. It took me a while to get those stats. Assists after 3,000 games, I was fairly impressed by this actually, 1,266, meaning he has an average assists per game ratio of 0.40. That is pretty sexy considering he has a low work rate situation going on there, and he plays in the MLS, and not an awful lot of people use Pirlo anymore. He is still a very prolific assister, and his average coins per goal ratio is 23.9. Compare that with Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who costs 64,000 coins. His goals per coin ratio is 29. So not actually that bad really, but could have been better. But we're not really looking for goals when it comes to Pirlo. We are looking for assists because, I mean, it's not likely that he's going to get that many goals, and it did show there. Now, this is where we get to the exciting stuff. Joe Allen, he cost 400 coins, which is half the price of what Pirlo costs, even though Pirlo's pretty much discard value anyway. But what you've all been looking for is the stats. Now, before we do get into it, I just want to reiterate that these stats are all taken from the Xbox market. It's nothing to do with me. I haven't influenced it. It took me nearly 24 hours to accrue the stats for Joe Allen because of the Liverpool game against Dortmund yesterday. He turned into a massive cult figure then because he came on and changed the game, and everybody bought him and tried to price fix him. So, yeah, it took me ages to get these stats, but here they are. With a goal ratio of 0.17 and goals of 526 from 3,000, doing that backwards I know, he beats Pirlo. He has a better goals per game ratio than Andrea Pirlo. Would you Adam and Eve it, Joe Allen? What is going on? His assists, however, nowhere near as good. After 3,000 games, 786 average goals, assists per game, my apologies. 0.26 is what he gets, which is a full 14 points less than what Pirlo has managed, which is unfortunate really because I was honestly expecting something a little bit sexier. But it didn't really come down to it. His average goals per coin ratio is a minus 1.3, meaning that he scores more goals than he cost, which was very difficult for me to work out. I don't really understand how I managed to work it out, and we're not really going to take it into consideration. I was going to do assists, because obviously assists in the positions that Joe Allen and Andrea Pirlo play in, more important than goals, I would say, but I kind of have been focusing on the goals aspect of this with the Versus series, so I didn't want to do assists necessarily. But if we are looking at assists, then we are going to be looking at the same rating really for Pirlo as you would get for Joe Allen, a minus 1.3. So if anything, they cancel each other out in that situation. But what you're asking is, technically, who is the better player between the two on FIFA 16? Now, I did realise I said technically. I didn't mean technically as in technically gifted. I just mean in general. And Pirlo has a 0.64 rating. Joe Allen has a 0.43. However, he did win the goals per game or goals per coin ratio. However, Pirlo would have beaten Joe Allen in the assists per game or per coin ratio. So we're going to forget that. I've put it there as a plus GPG because obviously the goals per game or the goals per coin was better, but when considering the assists, Pirlo would have been better as well. So we're going to forget it, and we are going to say that Andrea Pirlo with a 0.64 basically means that every 0.64 matches, Andrea Pirlo will either get a goal or an assist for you, which is pretty much every other. It's a little bit more than every other, but it's generally every other. Joe Allen will be slightly less than every other. However, for two players that, let's be honest with each other, Pirlo is washed up now. On FIFA, I mean. He's got a low work rate. His stats are decent, but they're nowhere near as what they were. Joe Allen is okay. He's very well-rounded, but he's still a non-rare player that hardly anybody uses. Those aren't bad, really. It's not a bad return. The assists for Pirlo in general, 1,266 after 3,000 games, is pretty sexy, to be fair. I'm quite happy with that. I'm very pleased. I was expecting it to be far less, but it is pretty decent. His goals are woeful. Joe Allen's goals are woeful. But what do you expect? They play fairly deep in the midfield. But that is a very interesting fight. I was expecting it to be a lot more one-sided in the way of Pirlo, but it wasn't. Joe Allen held a decent account of himself with a 0.43. Now, I want to do more of these, kind of like, not jokey players necessarily, but maybe we could do Heskey versus someone, Akinfenwa versus someone, Crouch versus someone. And not someone as in like Akinfenwa versus Heskey. I want to do it like Akinfenwa versus like Ibra or someone of that caliber, someone who matches him. Because Joe Allen and Pirlo is obviously a fair comparison when you're talking jokes, if that makes any sense. So if we can think of people, get them in the comment section for the jokey part of the Versus series. I'd be interested to read some of them, and we'll do them maybe once or twice a week. If you've enjoyed this video, do me a huge favour and smack that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Thank you very much for the support and for watching as always. Till the next time, goodbye. Hey, do you like paying full price for games?
Hell no.
Then go to cdkeys.com. They sell PlayStation, Xbox and PC games, all with massive discounts off the retail price. The link is in the description. Go check them out.